Welcome to MacroCode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So as you can see on our screen, we are going to proceed with our help desk management system. So on our previous video, we did something on users and actually enhance our application. So I'm going to log in so that you see where we were. So there, I'm going to supply my username and password. So when I log in, I'll be able to see my tickets. So we have our tickets here. So if I click tickets, then I'm able to see these tickets details. Then we have the comments, and we also have the users who are actually registered in the system. So for the tickets, you can add a new ticket. So I can provide some description, the status, and the priority, then create this. Then we also have the comments. So I can create some comments based on the tickets. So whether you are resolving this, so I can do that. Then I assign it to a ticket. Then I can create. Then I also have users. So I can add a new user. So I'll say this is Jackton. So I'll say Jackton Mwangi. So I'll say Mwangi Karanja. Then I'll say here is mail. Then I can put in the email address. Then I'll say this is maybe admin2. Then phone number there, I'll say 07. Then I'll just put in another email here. So my username will be my email. Then I can put in the password 34. So when I do that, then I can create. So if I click create, you can see my details are saved. So I have my first name, middle name, last name, phone number, email, gender, and the rest. So today, what I want us to do some tweaks. So whenever we were creating this application, I want us to add a new table that will be actually doing tracking the audits. So I want us to track the audit trails, and I also want us to track every activity that the user does within our application. So to begin with, I want us to go first and create a model. So I want us to create a model. So this model, we are going to call it audit trail. So this model will help us to track every activity that is happening within our application. So I'm going to create here a model called audit trail. So I'm going to call audit trail. So on this audit trail of ours, I'm going to have, so I'll do public. So I'll do public int ID. Then I'll have this will be my primary key. Then I'll just do their public, I'll call this string, then I can say action. Then I'll also have timestamp, so I can do timestamp. So I'll just do here timestamp. Then this one, I can automatically give it the date. So I'll say date time. Then I can do now. So once we have that, then so this one will be okay. So I'll use string. So this will be date time, I mean. So this will be date time. So let me zoom so that you can see. Then I can also do an IP address. So I'll just do an IP address. So here I'll do string. I can do here IP address. Then I can do here. So I'll do here. So this will be our string. So I can remove that. Then the next thing that I want us to track is I can say here user ID. So this user ID should be linked to our application user. So we want to track the person who is doing it. So I'll do that, and this will be our user. So this is a foreign key. So the next thing that I want us to track also is I want us to track so here I'll add something called module. So I'll say module. So you're able to tell the action that was done, the module, and you can also tell the table. So I'll call the table. So I'll say affected table. So I'll just call it affected table. Then I think that is okay. So if we do that, I want us now to have our audit trail. So you can add this on our application DB context. So here I'll add it as a new table. So here I'll do that. Then I can say this is, so I'll call this audit trail. So audit trail. So this audit trail, then I can also call this. So this, my table name will be audit trails. Then after that, you know, the next thing is to do migration. So I'm going to add migrations. So I'll just do NuGet package manager console. Then I'm going to add migrations. So here I'll just say add migration. Then I'll just say audit. I'll give it the name audit trails. So if we add it, our migration name will be generated, our migration file, and we are actually now going to add this to our database. So we're going to add this to our database. So if that proceeds, you'll see that we have now our audit trails, and it will be able to create a table called ID, the table called audit trails, our fields, ID, actions, module, affected table, timestamp, IP address, and the user ID. So to effect this with the database, we can actually do update database. So this will now be created within our database. So the table called audit trails will be created within our database. So these are very important commands that you need to be aware of. So that is it. So for those who are following this video and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and comment down below in case you need us to add something. So once we do that, then I want us to do something. I want us to start to scaffold that particular module. So I'm going to right click on views, then new, then I can say here controller, no, new scaffolded item, then MVC controller with views, then going there to pick now our model, which is audit trail. Then you'll notice that our controller name will be appended automatically. Then you'll choose the application DB context, and if you are using multiple, then you can choose that. So then if you click add, then our views and controller will be generated. That is a simple way on how to actually build that. So for those who are following and you're learning more about this video, subscribe, like the video, comment, share with your friends, and get more people to actually subscribe to MacroCode. So hit that subscribe button and you actually help us to reach more people. So as you can see, we have our code. So this is our code. So we have our controller. We have the audit trails controller, and we have all the actions. You can see index, create, all this. Then we have our folder here called audit trails. That means we can now able to access our audit trails within our application. So if we go to shared layout, I'm going to add it as a part of so that is the login passion. I'm going to add it as a link within our app. So this is, so let me try to zoom this a little bit. So this is our users. So I'm going to have another link for audit trails. So this is audit trails. Then this is index. Then you can say audit trails. So if we launch our app, we should now be able to access this section. But now we don't have these audit trails. We need, whenever you create an application, that is tickets, whenever you log in a user, whenever you add a comment, we should be able to track you. So you can see our app now, we have the tickets, whereby you can be able to see all these tickets, comments, you can see the comments, users, you can see the users, audit trails, you can see the audit trails, we don't have anything. But now, the good thing about this, we should not allow users to create them automatically. You can see our CRUD operation allows us to actually create an audit trail. This should not be the case. That means our index page, you should remove the create button, because this one will be created automatically by the system. So you can say system audit trails. So that is the bit that will be done. So we need to ensure that whenever someone's create a ticket, whenever someone's add a comment, then we should be able to, so let me just copy the styling of our table, then have it on our audit trails table. So whenever someone does anything on our system, then we should be able to actually know the person who created and what they have done. So let me also borrow some styling for the buttons. So go back to our audit trails and paste this. So we'll have the details, edit and delete. So same thing here, I'm going to, so here we'll actually have the view. So the delete and the rest is going to disappear. So the only thing that we should allow here is for someone to view the audit trails. Someone should not delete or even update. So that is what we are trying to avoid. So if I relaunch the app, we should be able to see our table looks a bit better, and we should now be able to. So let me relaunch this. So I'm going to stop there. So I'm going to stop there. Then let me relaunch. So if I relaunch that, then I should be able now to launch the app and do what we are supposed to check. So there we go. So you can see if we go to audit trails, that is our table. We have the system audit trails. Then we have the action, module, affected table, timestamp, IP address, user, and you can view it. So we need now to ensure that whenever someone's create a ticket, so let's start with the ticket. If you create a ticket, so I'm going to our ticket table, I mean our tickets controller, and create action. So whenever someone's create, we should actually log the audit trail. So you should log the audit trail within our application. So what I want us to do is, I want us to do here. So I'm going to do variable activity, then I'll say new. So I'll say new, then audit trail. I'm going to say new audit trail. And we actually did a video about audit trails. So if you want to see that video, comment down below and you can be able to see the link we've added there. So so I'm going to say action. So our action will be, so this will be create. So this person is creating the audit trail. So the next thing is we'll be able to do timestamp. So I can do the time, then .now. Then the next thing I can do is I can do IP address. So IP address I'll do there is so I can do HTTP context. So I'll do HTTP context. Then I can do .connection, then .remote IP address. Then I'll do toString. So if I do that, so this one will give me the IP. So the next thing that I want is the user ID. Remember the user ID? So this is the user ID here. So I'm going to assign it. Then the next thing is module. So I'll call module, then I'll call this tickets. So I'll call these tickets. Then the next thing that affected table is actually, which table are we affecting, is actually the tickets. So this is the table that is being affected. So I'll call it tickets. So then if we do that, we now have so then the next thing I'll do is to save these changes. So I'll do context dot add, then I can do activity, then I'll do activity. Then if I do that, then I can now save the changes. So I'll do await, then I can do here I'll do context dot save changes. So these details, so when we check on our model, we have the ID, action module, affected table, timestamp, IP address, and the user. So we've actually added all those details. So whenever we just create these will actually create an audit trail in our application. So what I want us to do is, let's try and launch the app. So I'm going to launch the app and we try to create to create a ticket. So when you create a ticket, we should now be able to see who created the ticket and at what time. So I'm going to create a ticket here. So I'll just do that, add new. So then I'll just put in some weird text, status. Then if I create it, you can see our ticket has been created. That means we don't have any challenge. So if we go to audit trails, we should be able to see the details. So why don't we have the data? So let's go back here. So there's something might have happened. So let's go back here. So under activity, so I want us to, so let's just relaunch this. So this is, it says what? Yeah, so you can say here, you can say here, you can do this. Can do this. Let me just do that. Yes. So if I relaunch this, I want to have breakpoint here so that we see what is happening. So I'm going to create a ticket. So let's create a ticket. So add new ticket, provide some details. Status is create. Yeah, we don't have our, we are not getting our ticket here. So there's something happening. Yeah. So we have an issue. So actually the issue is not there. We can have that as a variable. The issue is here. So we are redirecting it to index. That should come now below. And we should actually remove this. We are redirecting it to index. So we should actually also can do this here. So we are redirecting it to index. So let's start again. So this was being redirected to index. So it was not reaching here. So I'm going to remove this breakpoints. Then we can start the application again. So tickets, I'm going to add new ticket, then provide these details, urgent. There we go. So it has created. So let's see our audit trails. You can see we have an audit trail here. So you can see the action is create, table is tickets, table affected, the timestamp, the IP address, this is represent the localhost, and this is the user. So instead of having this user ID, we can actually provide the username. So let's go back to our users and audit trails. We can change this instead of user.id, we can do full name so that we know the guy who has been doing those changes. So let's go back to our tickets. So I'm going to create a ticket again. So if I do here some weird text, so you'll forgive me for this. So if I do that and go back to audit trails, you can see every time we add a new ticket, our audit trail is populated. So I'm going to add these again. I'm going to add these, then we add, then you'll be able to see our, so this keeps growing. So let's do the same for the comments. So what we need to do is we just need to copy this code here, and we can go back to comments and we can add it down here. So I'll be showing you how we can make this simpler so that we don't go along putting in the same text all over again. So I'll show you how we can make this simpler. So I'm going to add that to the table, and if this is creating, that is changing, that's okay. So we can do that. Then the same thing we can do it under users as well. So on our users table, once this is succeeded, once the user is saved, then we can log in the change. We can say this is a create. We can the table is The table is users, SP, so we can say this is users table. So then this is users, and that is saved. So let's now go and try to launch our app and try to save some of these details. So for those who are watching this video and you have not subscribed, consider subscribing, like our video, and comment down below. So I'm going to now do the audit. So let's do comments. I'm going to do the comments. So if I add a new comment, provide the description, choose then add. You can see it is adding. So if I try again, add, then if we go to audit trails, you'll see we have 2 entries for the comments. So if we do the same for users, I'm going to add a user. So I'll do Amon Wanjala Mwangi, then you can say Opio. We'll do here Opio. Then you can provide the phone number there. We say 07. Then this we can do 8. Then here you can say, so these we can say this is testwangari@gmail.com. So if we do that, then I can add this here. Then password I can do admin@2050. So if we do that, then I add the user. You'll notice we have our user here called Amon Wanjala Mwangi. We have test Wangari. Then if we go to audit trails, you'll notice that we have an audit for the table called users, and this is the timestamp. So we've been able to create the tickets. We've been able to add the comments. We've been able to add the users. We've been able to add the audit trails. So what I want us, assuming guys, we want to have our application whereby we want to have our application kind of having an admin dashboard, and you're able to manage some admin settings and all those things. So how are we going to do that? So if you're following this video and you're interested on how we are going to map this and link this to an admin LTE or any other kind of template, so that you're able now to have this as a fully functional help desk management system. So like down below, comment down below, and see you in our next video. Bye.